So first up, well, it's not a tool at all actually, but for those following the MR2 build, these might be of use or some interest to people. I bought these direct from China. They're listed for a Prius, but they're exactly the same fog light for the Mark III MR2 Spider or Roadster. And these are a replacement fog light. I think Toyota wanted something in, well, can't seem to get the, there we go. So it's quite a nice made unit, and it actually comes with the bulb as well, which I was pretty surprised about there. The pair delivered to the UK were £22. Toyota wanted, I can't remember what they were, but it was well in excess of over £100 a pair. So super deal there. Now if you've got a Mark III MR2, you'll know that the chrome on the inside of these corrodes, and in the UK after a while that actually becomes an MOT failure, because the light unit just corrodes to the point where it stops working. So I hope for them to go on soon. I'm going to hold off putting those on because I've got a body kit that I want to put on the MR2, but I'm trying to find the Toyota Racing Development side skirts for that car, which are proving a little bit elusive at the moment. So once I've got that, I should pull the bumper. I want to repaint the bumper anyway, and then I'll fit those, because you have to take the bumper off to fit those lights. Okay, so tools. First up we have this thing. It's a serpentine tool, belt tool from good old US Pro. Part number is 3216. It cost me £17.99, and I bought this primarily because I'm going to be doing the auxiliary accessory belt on the MR2 shortly, but I've actually started having a horrific whine from the idler pulleys on the Jeep, and I've ordered 2 of those yesterday, so hopefully that will sort that issue. I'll put an example up of what that noise is now. So if you've got a Jeep, 2.8 diesel Jeep, and you're experiencing that noise, a car not moving in neutral, could well be your idler pulley. So in this kit you get 3 crow's feet. They're 3/8. You got 13, 14 and 15 mil, and there's also let's just have a look there. You've got a 13, a 15, a 16 and an 18. Was it 18 mil there? Yeah, 18 mil shallow socket. Now if I just get an 18 mil 3/8, you can see there that there's a height difference there. So because the reason why you're buying this belt is on a lot of cars it can be really difficult to get a decent sized breaker bar and a full sort of size 3/8 socket in there. So that's why I bought this. So the bar itself is, what's that? That's probably got to be somewhere in the region of about 1/4 inch thick steel bar. It's got a 3/8 ball head on this end. You also get the you get this extension bar as well. So, and that comes with a 1/2 inch fitting on the end here. So if you want to use a 1/2 inch socket you can do, but if for example you've got, don't know what that was, my phone. If you've got a difficult to reach area, then what you can do is you can put that on there, and then it gives you different angles to be able to lever the tensioner to get the drive belt off. So when I do that, I'll do a video using this particular tool. I think it's going to come in really useful, certainly because I've got to change the belt at the moment and I've got to do the idler pulleys, so that'll save me a ton of aggravation in trying to release the tension on the belt tensioner to do both those jobs on both cars. And it comes in quite a nice blow moulded case. Next up, I was in Halfords. Halfords is probably our version of Princess Auto in Canada, or I'm not sure what the equivalent would be in America, to be honest. But I got these sanding and paint and rust removal discs. So I got this wire brush that was on sale for £3. I think this was something like £7. It's there for grinders. And I got a couple of these polycarbide discs as well. I think these were about £5–6 reduced down. Now the reason why I bought those is I've got a new vise, which I'll just give you a quick look here. So I bought this vise to replace my other vise. It's an old English record vise, and what I want to do is I want to strip this down and repaint it. It's old English steel. I'm not sure, it's not one of the really old ones, because the this part here, that would be more rounded. That's how you know if you've got one of the really old English record vices. But it's an old one, so it's good quality steel. It'll last, well, outlast me if it looks after it. The jaws are in good condition. So yeah, so I'm going to use those wheels to, I'm going to completely strip this vise down to its individual parts, clean it down, reface off the bearing surfaces, repaint and put that back together. And that should be good to go. Yeah, so that'll be good times. And that vise only cost me, I think that was about £20, I think, on I can't remember if it was like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. It was a guy selling it locally, 4-inch jaw on that. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So that's what I bought those wheels for. Next up is something a little bit different. It's a kit for installing and making network cables and network points. Happily for me, my son works in the IT sector, and in one of his previous roles he put in a lot of computer networking, so he's going to be putting this in for me, not me. So you got the jaws here for the RJ45 connectors for crimping those in. You've got a push down tool. You've got a hook for hooking the cables back out if you've put them in incorrectly, and I'm not really sure what that is. And he was telling me that you push down, on the push down tool, you push down and it snips it off at the same time. There's a wire strippery thing there. And then here what we've got is a kit that, let's just get this open. It's the cable tester. So let's see if I can just find a, I'll just see if I can find a 9-volt battery. Okay, so I've run a hardline cable, Cat 5e cable from the house into the workshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two RJ45 faceplates, one in here for networking and one next to my fibre optic broadband connection, so I can patch that straight out the router and into this. And what this does is you plug your cable, it does phone cables as well, but I bought it specifically for the network cable option. You plug these in and then you turn it on, and it tests the cable individually. So what that basically does is show you that all of the cables are wired in correctly, and then you're going to have no network issues. you can basically check your cables. So yeah, it just pairs off each one to ensure there's a link between the two. That was, ladies and gentlemen, that whole kit was the princely sum of £6.25, which frankly is a ridiculous sum of money for that. But it will do what I need to in terms of enabling me to install the networking, and if my son has the skills to be able to put all the cable in, points in, put the cable in. I bought the raw cable, armoured cable, because it's gone down the length of the garden at the back. So yeah, so a bit of an unusual tool, that one. I don't imagine it's going to get very used at all, but necessary for the installation of a network. And lastly, but by no means least, just move that out of the way, I bought this, and I actually ordered this before I charged the battery. It is a 12 volt battery tester. The difference with this unit though is that it will actually, on a momentary switch, there's a heating element inside here. So if you buy one of these, turn it on and it starts smoking, it's because it's a new heating element, and that's what causes the battery to have a load to properly test it. It's a pretty chunky unit. Comes with some good crocodile clips there. Let's see if we can get this back and see what the cable connection is like. Not the cleanest looking solder or weld point in the world. Looks like might be 8 gauge or 4 gauge cable in there. But yeah, and then you've got on the thing here, you've got the different, it will do 6 volts and 12 volts, and tests on load cranking and things like that. So when I put the battery back in the Jeep, tests things like your starter motor, the alternator, those kind of things, charging system. So when I've got the battery back on and I've got a bit of time, we'll do a little bit of a video on this. These are pretty reasonable. I actually bought 2 because I bought one as a gift, so I was able to get this second one for around, I think it was about £10 this cost me, because I was buying 2 at the time. I think they're normally selling for around £20, I think, something like that. If you're paying more than £20, then keep looking around, because I've seen exactly this same unit. It might be in silver, and it might have a slightly different switch on the bottom, selling for anything up to £50, which is way overpriced for what this is. But I've got multimeters and things, so I know how to test if the alternator's working, I know how to test the battery and things like that, but this will load test it as if you're starting a car, so it'll give you a good indication as to, even if you've charged the battery, whether it's actually going to be able to come across with the goods when the time matters in the cold. So that's it for today. I didn't think I'd be buying any more tools this month, but who was I kidding? So thanks for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. There's lots of different content on the channel. As I say, I'm going to be starting a video series on my Jeep, because there's some things that need sorting on that. And that was a short notice purchase last year, and I'll go into that in the video as to why that was when I start doing that. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.